Hello everybody and welcome to Slay the Spire, playing as the Defect on Ascension 6. This is Act 2 versus the Champ. Act 1 was unlike any Defect run I've ever had. We took Doom and Gloom first. It was offered Recursion and Fission, so we kind of just became a Dark Orb deck, and that's what we've been doing. We got the Defrag, Loop, Blast Cog from the final boss, a little bit of block in there too. We did get the Gambling Chip and the Preserved Insect, and for the boss relic I actually took Frozen Core because in Act 1 the Lightning Orb is very good. We didn't manage to find a Frost Orb, so now we'll have as many Frost Orbs as we like, and with cards like this, this, and this, we can just kind of get free block by sitting there doing nothing. So I'm looking forward to that. In this act, I think, because of the bias cognition, maybe we look for orange pellets, Clockwork Souvenir, Core Surge, basically the artifact cards and relics. So I think I do want to favor shops. Like I think I want to go here, and from here we can come up through here maybe, and we have our choice between campfires, elites, shops, more campfires. Yeah, definitely be playing this one by ear, but let's get started. Alright, so Gambling Chip. Not sure how to do this here. We know we want this. We can play this, and this is better than Strike, and there we go. So we get to make use of the 4 energy from our Lantern, and we get 4 block. It's important that that interaction is noted because you get the orb first, and then it does its passive. Very handy. Alright, so if we do this, now this orb's worth 8, which means if we just sit here, we will do another 8 block, which is full block, which means we can actually do this, but not the zap, or else we miss out on that free block. Okay, Fission. We can Doom and Gloom, and then Recursion. Easy as pie. Now we get a Frost Orb. That's funny. Do we take it? We did remove 2 strikes in the first act, so these are our only attacks, non-strike attacks. We only have 4 total. It might be handy just having an attack that generates a frost. If nothing else, in the very, like, imagine turn 1, we can do the Cold Snap and end up with 2 Frost Orbs. So I think that might be an idea. Wait a second. Alright, so we'll probably go around this shop now, since we got a shop in this event. Oh no, Emotion Chip. That would have been very good. Let's remove a card, and I think, based on what we're seeing, it's safe to remove a Defend at this point. That's usually how my runs go anyways. Act 1 we remove strikes, Act 2 we remove defends. And I definitely think Loop is helpful. It can be block until we're ready to start doing Dark Orb stuff. Now this one will be a little challenging because we don't need a big bad Dark Orb. But if we go bang bang bang, we will have 6 block at the end of this turn, and then we'll start next turn with 15 block plus another 5 at the end. So this is a very solid defensive situation here. Here I don't know how helpful a Dark Orb is going to be. It doesn't really need to do much work at all. So anyways, we'll set all that up for our blocking needs, and I guess we'll go with the one with the highest health of the ones that are strengthening up. Because do remember that Dark Orbs specifically hit the lowest health enemy. So now we just made it to this one. So I guess this is a good reason to have attacks in the deck. One of many, I'm sure. Okay, we need 30 block. And we do have Letter Opener. Their debuff, or their buff, whichever it is, does not deal with orb. So if we do zap, that is a skill that puts a Frost Orb in play. We can do this to get the instant block now and put the lightning up front, which will do a lot of damage next turn. It's going to degrade to 5, but we'll get 15 free damage. That'll help. And we're not going to play the cold snap. Any block will do here, any skill. And there we go, some AoE. Yeah, this fight presents a unique challenge to our current deck. It remains to be seen if it was a mistake leaving a lightning orb up front like that. Wow, okay. So we can do defrag, fission, set out the dark orb, or better yet, let's not set out the dark orb. Let's put the lightning orb up front. Now we can do this, and we can do this. Okay, and then we can do this. Oh yeah, and the letter opener. Okay, so yeah, I'm not sure if it was right or wrong, but we got through it. I don't think any of those help what we're doing here. Hey, more gold to make up, because we do have a pair of shops we could hit up here. Okay, strength is not really something we're interested in, so let's do test subject. Probably a strike and a defend. There's no need to go 2 of either, really. We'll just split it down the heat sinks and genetic algorithm. The heat sinks actually scares me a little bit. We do have a lot of powers, but what if we play one and we draw into a doom and gloom that we can't play because it costs 2? That could be problematic. We'll have to play that by ear. Okay, so I see 3 powers and genetic algorithm. Might just play that because we don't know if we'll get a chance to play at this fight. Take this opportunity to do it now. Okay. Well, then I guess we don't play heat sinks here. That's fine. Okay, so once again we'll get a little bit of block now and then significantly more at the start of next turn. And this was the defrag, so no degradation here. Alright. Again, we got plenty of block now, but at the end of the turn a new one will be generated. So we could just bias cog here and let it ride. Or do we ball lightning to start getting some lightning action going? Unclear. Okay. Okay, lots of free block. I like this. The fission will draw us exactly 2, and we have exactly 2 in our deck, so we know we're going to be able to park the dark orb up front here. That's pretty good. From here all we can do is block, then we don't need to. So I say let's go ahead and play 2 to get the letter opener value. And there we go. So it's up to 17. It'll become... That's interesting. It did the count up before bias cog degraded. Interesting. Alright, so this is free. And we are going to need some block here. This costs less, provides more. So that's what we do. We still get the frost orb. Alright, so 22 out of 27 is not bad. 90. Sweet. Dual cast is more than enough. Distilled Chaos. I like this. I like the idea of this. Yes, because especially with the heat sinks, I already talked about possibly drawing into this. Now we have not only a 1 cost option, but a second option. So if it is a fight that dictates a Dark Orb approach. We are ready. Alright. We already have a loop plus, so I think I'll go with the bias cog here. Plus, going with the bias cog, it actually helps to offset its own internal decay by a turn. This could be a challenging fight. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a decent enough start. In fact, maybe we don't draw anything, because with the Dark Orb and Loop on turn 1, maybe Dual Cast is something we would want to play right away. It's a hard call. Okay. I was thinking we could have gotten Bias Cog or Defrag, so it was worth fishing for something a little better. In fact, maybe we played the Distilled Chaos here. Defend. Okay. That's unfortunate, because I was just thinking we should drink this as well. And I could have gotten more out of that defend. Now there's a Frost up front, which is actually probably better under the circumstances. I think I will do this. Should have done it first. And we get some letter opener value. Cool. Oh, but hey, it doesn't matter that we didn't do it first. We still get full block. Fantastic. And now Loop will give us some free block, and we can evoke the Frost Orb. Nice. Alright, so I think Bias Cog Loop recursion is good enough. Full block this turn, and now a dual cast will nuke him and him. And that just leaves us with one guy that we would easily be able to manage from that point on. Just get a lightning orb in play and let it rip. This works too. Although this kills double, so we'll do this before the fission. And then there's no point to do this before the fission, I don't think. That's all the block we could need this turn for sure. That's unfortunate. And we get our letter opener value. So there we go. 18 and now Loop. Anything that makes this go off is just going to end the fight. And 2 orb generations will do it. Alright, very smooth. Question card. That's rewards. We'll put it like so. Electrodynamics. That is perfect. We already have the Dark Orb set up, so we can handle a single target like it's nobody's business. Now we're better equipped for AoE. That is a very good pickup. Oh my gosh, and so is this. Free built-in loop. Only it takes place at the end of the turn. It'll be interesting to see if that functions. I would assume it would, because it's basically taking an existing mechanic and just doing it again. So I would assume this creates an orb, and then this just piggybacks off of the passive that already takes place. Ooh, we could generate a whole lot more frost orbs like this. Yeah, I think this is a must-take. We gotta do it. Gotta do it. And that gives us no money left for other stuff. Which is fine, because with that electrodynamics, we kind of have everything we're going to need now. We did spend a lot of money there, so I don't think this shop is worthwhile. Let's just finish out the act like so. Hey, hey, hey. We will just fish for electrodynamics. Yep. There we go. Alright, so we play the electrodynamics. It's going to do 6 to all. And this will do 10 to all. That's enough to kill everybody. So we Doom and Gloom first, then the electrodynamics. And there we go. Now we got the Dark Orb up front. We just generated a Frost Orb. Perfect. He is attacking us. That is okay, because this and this, and this gives us almost full block. He cannot escape. It's already worth 40. In fact, if we do this, we might just have lethal here. Yes, indeed. Fission lethal. You don't see that every day. Alright, this is once per combat, so I'm going to file it like this. Recursion plus would give us more. We did grab a second source of dark. And we kind of like having the ability to just evoke at will. With the runic capacitor, evocation by pushing through is not going to be as reliable. And I don't know that we want to necessarily wait for dual cast to come around every single time. So I think I will take a second recursion. Keep in mind, I don't just view that as a dark orb card. That can be used for electric damage or block as well, so that's why I am happy to take it even as early as we did in this run. That would have been what, floor like 4 or 5 or something. Alright, so now would be a good time to upgrade that loop. And on to the final elite of the act. Okay, so we have a dark orb right away, very good. We're also going to get frost orb and boot sequence. Bias cog and boot sequence gives us full block with the frozen core, and obviously fission and electrodynamics. I suppose we could electrodynamics. Once we got the dark orb in play, what the rest of the orbs do isn't going to matter too much. They're not going to fill up so quickly that that we're going to be screwed on frost orbs. Especially now that we have 2 recursions and 2 sources of dark. We can just have our way here. We don't have to... because fission's going to eventually evoke everything anyways. Okay, this will help with the frost issue. And then we can do this, and where does that leave us? We're going to have 24 block, that's full block. Do we bother with a recursion? No, we do not. Of course not. Although we could have, and he would just be like almost dead, so maybe I should have. That's okay if we find a fission. There's a recursion, so that'll do 52, 59 plus 24 is 83, 89. Wait, I think I have lethal here. Let's find out. Oh, plus this evokes a lightning orb, which I didn't count on. So yeah, that's very much lethal. Turn 3, Book of Stabbing lethal, and I don't think we took any damage. Blood Vial. At start of turn, we will do it like that. Another biased cognition. We do have a campfire coming up. Sure. All of our key components were doubled up on. Well, this is more like a 50%, but we doubled up on loop, doubled up on dark orb generation, had increased our ability to evoke orbs at will. Technically by 50%, if you count this, it's less than that. The only problem with adding another bias cog is electrodynamics gets lost in the shuffle. But the deck was performing well in AoE situations thanks to the frozen core even before we picked it up. So I'm not terribly concerned about that. We'll go ahead and upgrade the bias cognition here. And on to the champ. I see no dark orbs here, and we're not getting attacked this turn, so that's really good. I think I will keep the heat sinks because that means any other powers we draw. Yeah. I'll play electrodynamics for the card draw more than anything. It could be, yeah, this is good. Can do this. And we can even do recursion. And if letter opener said 2, we could do the reinforced body, but there's no need. Alright, so we miss out a little bit by not having a Frost Orb up front. Maybe there's... I mean, with Fission somewhere in the deck, though, that's, like, not necessarily a problem. Okay, so we definitely want Doom and Gloom. We have Heat Sinks in play. That's unfortunate. I think we're just going to have to take... Oh, that's better. That's better, actually. What happens when we get Loop? We get another Loop, of course. Well, we got to get a Dark Orb down. Okay. So we take a little bit of damage this time. But only 5. It's not bad at all. Centennial Puzzle value. Okay. Darkness at the same hand as a Fission. I like that. Okay, had a little splice there. Got some cooking going on in the kitchen and a smoke alarm started going off, so I will have to fix that in post. What I had done was hit him with a Ball Lightning to fill up the last slot, and then I put Bias Cog in play, drew Doom and Gloom. We can also put Loop in play, but it's not going to affect the Fission. In fact, what we can do here is actually Recursion to get a little more damage out now while things are hot and heavy, and get the Fission down, which we didn't even have to do, really. In fact, it would have been a bad idea to do if it had pushed him below a certain point. But right now it's just about getting all of our powers into play. So I'll go ahead and play this because I don't know if we're going to get another opportunity. We have 4 loops and the cable, so this is going to go very large very quickly. For this reason, I think maybe we don't bother with the Lightning Orb. Let's control when we damage him, because if it gets below half, he starts behaving differently. And we can play Defend, Defend just to get a little letter opener value. And the strike will not put him below 210. So 69 block. Okay, 102. We could recur, but there's no need to. And we could... Yep, we're just going to pass. Letting those Frost Orbs rank up. Dual Cast is lethal already. Yeah, we got passive blocks, so 186 is not lethal. So we'll just go ahead and hit him like this to get the Frost Orbs in a little quicker. Good enough. 210. Now we have lethal, because Loop is going to carry that even further. Yep, now we have lethal. And there it is, dual cast. Good enough. Alright. Easy peasy. There's the Core Surge. Although I'm starting to see that the decay is not going to matter, at least not in this deck, because we have multiple copies and defrag and loops. So if we, yeah, whether we're going Electrodynamics or Dark Orb, I don't think we need another Bias Cog. However, we have been adding deck cards to the deck, so I think Seek Plus will do a really good job of fishing out the Electrodynamics in those fights where we actually need it. So I think Seek Plus is the choice here. It might be Fusion Hammer, right? Most of our important cards are upgraded. I mean, we'd like to have Recursion cost nothing, and the same could be said for Dual Cast, since that's our part of our win condition, but generally speaking, I think we got things under control here. So I'll take the Fusion Hammer. That's every turn, so we'll file it away like this. And that is going to do it for Act 2. Thank you guys for your patience with the smoke alarm. I hope you enjoyed the act otherwise. Please leave any comments you have down below, and I'll see you guys in the next act. Take care.